here are some of the characteristics that psychologists have when it comes to the how we think and act like psychologists. Critical thinking is an important component of that. That's a term that you've heard a lot of, critical thinking. And there are a number of different definitions of it. But one of the things you can realize is that it means that you have to think more deeply about something. If you hear something, somebody tells you something, you have to think about, well, maybe what is the evidence to support this statement? What arguments can back this up? So evaluating the quality of an argument is critical thinking. And realize that, not just in this course, but any course you take in college, you're expected to think critically. You're expected to ask why. You're expected to not just take what the professor says at face value, but to really, think about the evidence, the arguments that support what the professor might be saying. So this is really an important characteristic of an educated person, is to be able to think critically. Skepticism. This is also an important characteristic of a scientist. To be skeptical means you're not going to take something at face value. You're going to be questioning. You're going to be doubting the veracity of something. But realize that with skepticism also comes being objective. It means, don't have any preconceived notions about something. So, for example, if you're thinking, you might be skeptical about a claim of extrasensory perception, being able to read someone's mind, let's say, right? And it's certainly good to be skeptical of that. But nevertheless, we have to pay attention to objective evidence to support any argument, even an argument like ESP that many people still believe in. Just because the good skeptic should not automatically believe in ESP just because they saw it in a movie. But nevertheless, you could be objective and look at some objective evidence and not rule out completely the possibility that there may be indeed some truth to it, as long as there is objective evidence to support it. So, being objective, being open-minded is so important. You need to be able to be open-minded because many of the things that you will learn in this course are things that might surprise you about behavior and mental processes. As a result, it's important to be open to those surprises and be open to change your mind about something, be open to change your beliefs about something. If the evidence does not support the beliefs that you have, but the evidence does support an alternative belief, then maybe you should take more seriously the alternative belief. Curiosity is another aspect of what a scientist should be about. Curiosity means that you are always asking questions. Why does this happen? Why are these variables related to each other? Why do people behave this way? And psychologists look at people and look at how we behave and look at how we act toward each other and how we think. And we ask questions as to why that is the case. And we want to find out the factors that are involved in explaining behavior and mental processes. So when we are thinking about behaviors and mental processes, why do we want our thinking to be critical? One way to look at this is, critical thinking. There are a lot of things that we might have learned through myth, that really aren't true, but we kind of believe them anyway. But if we really want to try to understand, be able to predict behavior, be able to understand it such that we can perhaps help change behavior, to help people cope better with their environment. Well, relying on myths are not going to be very helpful. So, for example, in the past, mental illness was presumed to be possession by a demon or something. In fact, there are still some people who believe this. When we realize that there are other factors involved, and that there are ways in which we can help someone who has who may be affected by mental illness, that does not involve anything like exorcism or something like that. So we need to be able to think critically, to be able to understand, to be able to predict behavior in an effective way. And we also have to be open to the idea that what we believe to be true now, even among scientists, may not be true 20 years from now as we gather further evidence. The scientific process continues indefinitely. We'll always be learning more about psychology, and this is true for all the other sciences as well. Think about the value of skepticism. It's so important to not just be taking things at face value, always be asking questions, always be thinking about when somebody tells you this is the way it is and you have to believe it and that's the way it's going to be. It's always, you have to kind of step back and think, maybe there's an agenda behind what this person is trying to tell me. Maybe this person is trying to get me to obey rather than trying to educate me. And maybe being skeptical, being able to question what you might read in the newspapers, what you might see on TV, what your professor might tell you. This is an important characteristic of an educated person, to be able to really question these, just blanket statements that people might be saying that, people are like this or people are like that. Really need to be able to question that. One of the things that I want you to remember here, and one of the things that I hope that you take out of this course, is to remember that psychology is not just about psychological disorders. There are many different subfields of psychology, many different ways of looking at behavior and mental processes, many different specializations. One of the specializations that's pretty much a theme throughout this textbook, this author takes into positive psychology very highly. Positive psychology is a way of looking at psychology not as a matter of your illness, your mental disorders, but rather looking at what makes us better people, what makes us creative, what makes us content, what makes us stronger, what makes us healthier, what makes us be high achievers like this young lady crossing the finish line. These are important questions to ask. We want to emphasize human strength. We want to be able to help people reach their potential to become the best they can be. And that's something that I would like you to remember about psychology.